Alright guys, we're back with another awesome unboxing video here for you. This is a collection that I picked up yesterday, at least yesterday on the day of filming this, and I'm so excited to go through it. I looked in a few of these boxes and there was some really awesome stuff. One of my regular customers brought it in for me, said he was getting out of HO, going full O scale. So, of course, I had to pick up his amazing looking HO collection. And we'll start with this little box with just some buildings and things in here, nothing wrong with that. Here's a Faller crossing. Here's a really cool Pullman diner. I think this is a lifelike piece, one of my favorite of the 80s kind of buildings, the classic plastic kits. Here's a little Faller house, and here is a tunnel. I'm not sure who this is by. Looks like it almost might be some kind of Thomas piece or something, but I don't think it is. Very small first box. We've got a lot to cover in this video, so let's get on to the next one. All right, this next box is made up entirely of engines, and I'm so excited. I've literally only seen the top row here, and there's going to be some surprises in here, I feel like. Up first, we got a couple common of the older, Bachmann and Tyco switchers. Nothing too insane going on here. This Redding one's kind of nice. I think this box might actually be all switchers, which is kind of cool. Another one of those Redding switchers, and here's a pretty common one, the Santa Fe variant of that. The B&O variant of that. So we've got quite a few road names here in these switchers. Here's a really cool Athearn Blue Box Southern. Does not have the cowl with it unit though, I don't think. I've had one of these before, the Hercules 060 by Bachmann. Really cool little steam engine. Here is a lifelike Union Pacific 040. And on top of this first pile, or the first row here rather, is this Pennsylvania Tender, which I think might go to a Bachmann engine. So we're gonna see if we can find the locomotive that goes with that in this box. And I have a good feeling that we will. I see some really cool things here already. Here's a Conrail Jeep. I think this is an Athearn Blue Box. Here is another Conrail Jeep. I don't know. I think this is Bachmann. Actually, I have not seen a Bachmann Conrail from this era. I hope the gears aren't stripped on that, because that's actually a really cool Bachmann engine. Nice Athearn Blue Box Great Northern. As you guys know now, we are going to test all these engines at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Here's another Santa Fe High Hood. I believe that's an AHM locomotive, and the cab is coming off on us here. I think we have a B&O ABA set here, which I believe in a different box has an entire matching passenger car set to it, which is really cool. We have one more row down here of engines, and I see some more really cool things down here. Wow, okay, there's some definitely unique items. Huge BN Alco right there. Here's another big 6-axle for us, Santa Fe. It needs a little work, clearly. The wheels are kind of falling apart and stuff. We're going to be selling that as a parts engine, I imagine. Here's one that we already are going to recognize from the last video. Another one of those AHM Erie RS2s. This is great to have another one though, because the last one from the last video is already sold. Really cool B&O SDP40, I think is what these are called, with that weird kind of back on them. Really cool engine. One of the most unique Athearn Blue Box diesels there. And I see another really cool Athearn Blue Box diesel here. Nice Amtrak FP45 with that classic Phase 1 Chevron logo. How cool is that? And down here at the bottom we have a lifelike chassis system, which I don't think is going to run, unfortunately, just because these usually do not run that great. But I do like chassis, so it makes up for it with that. Let's go on to the next box and see what else we got. Here is box number 3, and I think we are in for some more surprises with this one for sure. So, funny story, a lot of these Plasticville boxes do have the buildings with them, but they are actually built in another box. So we're going to get to those eventually. I love that we have the original boxes for those. But down here I see already some really unique rolling stock, some things that I haven't had in the store quite yet. We'll go off first with these. This is actually one of the first MTH HO freight cars I've ever had. It's a really cool Pullman standard boxcar. Very unique paint scheme on that. Everything looks to be in perfect shape. I don't even know if it's been out of the box, honestly, but it looks fantastic. That's a great start to the rolling stock in this box. Here's a train line, excuse me, I was going to say Athearn Walters train line. One of those really interesting firefighter cars they have. This is the Georgia Pacific one, probably one of my favorites they made in that. Again, in the box, looks great. Here's a Lionel HO car, something I have not talked about much, something we really haven't even seen much on the channel, but a lot of people have wanted me to talk about these in Worthless Trains, and we might. I think that the thing that people really don't like about these is that they're essentially just model power tooling, but rebranded with Lionel, and they charge like twice as much. That's at least how I understand it. So maybe we should do a video on those at some point in the future. That would be a good topic, I think. I think we got some more engines wrapped up here. Oh, wow, look at this. This is actually pretty awesome. Southern 44 tonner. Believe that's a Bachmann. Yep, definitely a Bachmann. And the truck cover is here, but it seems to have snapped off. Oops, camera's freaking out. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, really, really happy with this locomotive. I love getting Southern stuff just because it's so related to Tennessee. That's a really good surprise. I love when we get things that are wrapped individually like this. It makes every single item a surprise. This is a Weber billboard reefer. Here is another really cool powered unit. Not an engine per se, but one of the classic Bachmann PCC trolleys. And this one's in really good shape too. And it's one of the slightly less common paint variants of this one too, which is awesome. Little Bachmann UP passenger car there, missing the sides. Nothing too crazy going on there. Those old-timer passenger cars are pretty cool though. And here is an AHM, maybe a Roundhouse actually. I believe these are Roundhouse, Virginia and Truckee baggage car. Again, one of those kind of old school styles of passenger car, which are super, super neat. And another trolley for us there. This is the Brill trolley, I believe is the name for this. Here is something very unique. I think that if this is what's inside of here, we're in for a surprise. British Railway Steamer. I just did today the TCA train show in Lebanon, Tennessee, or Lebanon as it's pronounced here. And a couple gentlemen were asking me if I ever do British stuff. And I told them I just never really find it. I don't really know much about it. But it looks like we might be having some British stuff in the store soon. And look at this, guys. Stunning locomotive. It's a Bachmann, so it's of the Bachmann British line. I know they have kind of like a whole separate brand for British stuff. Yeah, someone in the comments, please let me know what you know about this engine. I really have no idea about British locomotives or rolling stock or anything. Looks like we might have another one here though, Sir Francis steamer. Yeah, someone is definitely going to need to let me know about British steam locomotives and things in the comments, because this is something that is a whole new world for me. But people seem to really want me to start selling some foreign stuff. Now this is another really cool locomotive. Again, I'm totally out of touch with British stuff. This looks like another Bachmann, if I had to guess. And it's really, really sharp. That is awesome. I'm super excited for somebody to please, let me know more information about that in the comments, because that is completely foreign territory for me, no pun intended. Here is a flatbed. Minneapolis and St. Louis, definitely a more obscure road name to get. And it looks like we might have Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle in here. Now I'm very curious, will these be the Bachmann ones or the Hornby ones? Place your bets in the comment right now. Let's see if we're gonna get Bachmann or Hornby. And we are gonna get Bachmann. There's Annie. There's Clarabelle. We even have, I did not know this was in this collection, but this is awesome, Thomas and a Troublesome Truck. All the Bachmann ones, very, very cool. Personally, I prefer the Bachmann Thomas models. I know that a lot of people prefer Hornby because they use the real engine models of the locomotives like from the Railway Series stuff. But I think Bachmann's just capture the TV show look a lot better. Not huge on the face they did for Thomas though. I'd like to see them revamp that at some point. But what an awesome box that was. Let's move on to box number 4. And here we are with box number 4. Off the top, I can already see some Bachmann Silver Series stuff. And this is certainly some really cool Bachmann product right here. The Ringling Brothers set. We've actually got a full train set of this that we're going to get to later on. But this is the flatbed with the load. And look at that price. Sometimes I just can't believe how much the Bachmann Silver Series stuff goes for. I guarantee that will not be what it's going for in my store. Up next is a old-timer passenger car. I believe this is an unlettered one. Looks to be in really, really good condition. And we've got another one of those here. Crane Dock. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe some kind of kit. I'm not going to pull this out just so we don't make a mess, but it should be very cool. There's a Western Maryland hopper by Model Power. Pretty simple freight car, but something rather charming about that. Another one of those Lionel HO cars. This is a kind of like a Christmas themed reindeer hopper. Another one of those undecorated old school passenger cars. We've got an engine in here. I'm very curious as to what this is. And it is another big 6-axle for us. Big Southern Pacific locomotive here. Really, really, really cool stuff. The engines in this collection have been amazing. And I know we haven't even seen all of them yet, which is just so cool. Here's another circus car. P.T. Barnum car by AHM there. And yet another Ringling Brothers car, the Gondola, also by Bachmann. Here's actually a lifelike product I can really get behind here. You guys know my love of signals, and this is a nice semaphore signal. Interestingly enough, there's no approach aspect on there. It's just clear and stop. So I don't know if that's prototypical or not, but it's certainly unique. And that is definitely probably my favorite lifelike product we've ever seen here, to be honest. And we got one more item in this box here, and it is another trolley, another one of the Bachmann Brill trolleys. Very, very cool. That was another awesome box. I'm excited to keep this haul going and see what else we can find. Let's go to the next one. Here is our next box, and believe it or not, guys, this is going to come as a shock to all of you. There is not Pyrex in this box, believe it or not. I know I'm as surprised as you guys, but we've got some more HO goodies in here. Up first, Spectrum, passenger car. One of the Norfolk and Western ones that would go with the Bachmann Spectrum J-Class. And unfortunately, I don't think we have the Bachmann Spectrum J-Class in here, but we do have the, I think this is a Hallmark thing, or maybe it's just Lionel, but this was a, kind of a static little display thing they did. And there is at least a J-Class in this haul, even if it's not our favorite famous one. But that's very cool. Up next is probably one of the best engines in this whole lot, an L&N 440, number 108. Stunning locomotive, nice IHC engine. These are always really, really good. So that's very exciting. And in this box, we've just got a lot more, looks like some standard, kind of cheapy freight cars. Some ore cars in here. Those are Great Northern, a couple Tyco things. I'm not going to pull all these out, but I'm going to quickly look through and make sure there's nothing too amazing that we can't live without seeing. We actually have a rotary snowplow here, but it needs a little bit of help. And other than that, looks like a lot of just common, out-of-box HO rolling stock. I'm not going to take everything out of there, but you can quickly look in there and see what all's going on there. But in the meantime, we got one more signal here, actually. This is the lifelike and Bachmann, pretty standard signal there, signal bridge. But not bad at all. And we are going to move on to the next box. Let's move on to that one. Let me tell you guys, this collection is just amazing, and we are certainly not slowing down. We have another amazing box of stuff to go through here. As you can tell, some really high quality stuff in here, lots of stuff in the box. Lots of our favorite brands, including Ather and Walthers. Up first is a Mopac gondola with a cool load. I believe here we're going to have two awesome depressed center flatbeds. Got a Burlington Northern one, and I think this one is, Santa Fe. Couple industrial rail cars. We'll just grab these. Obviously nothing too insane going on there, but happy to have them nonetheless. And a Mantua car, another kind of old timer. Here is another roundhouse car. This little barrel car there, pickle car, super cool. Nice chassis box car. Is this like a darker color than usual? It looks almost green. How peculiar. That's a little bit different than the chassis cars that we're usually accustomed to getting here, but I'm not complaining. Weed control car with model power, another fairly unique car there, pretty cool. Got a Walthers kit here, one of the older Walthers kits, which looks to be, I'm not actually sure what that is. Oh, it's a slag metal car, or whatever those are called. Oh my gosh, look at those things. How unique is that? We do not get those much in the store ever, so that is awesome. We got a few more Athearn cars to round up this lot. Really cool Alaska Railroad caboose. Really cool Chessie caboose. You guys know I love Chessie and anything Western Maryland. C&O caboose, I really like that too. Got a couple more here. A nice Chessie hopper. And last but not least for this box, a C&O crane car. Some really, really cool stuff in this one. And we've still got more to look at. Let's just keep this haul rolling and check out some more trains. And we are down to our last few boxes here, but I think I've saved some very, very interesting stuff for these last few boxes before we go test all the engines. And I think in here we have a full set of Rivarossi Colorado Eagle passenger cars. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe we have a 7-car set in here, guys, and these are really, really sharp. No, it's even an 8-car set. Wow. That is so cool. We've got an 8-car Colorado Eagle passenger set here, and these are really, really sharp. These AHM passenger cars are just great, and it's really cool that they have so many variations of each car in the set. You know, I think we have 8 unique passenger cars here, which is awesome. Wow, wait, hang on a second. Oh no, this is the 8. I thought we had 9 for a second, but this is number 8, and that is just so cool. I think there's only one duplicate in here, and it's the observation cars. And it looks like we might have some Amtrak stuff in here, which is always great to have. And it's the classic Bachmann F40. Not the nicest F40 model by any means, but also certainly not a bad one. And I think we've got some more Amtrak cars in here, and it's our favorite budget Amtrak car, the classic Atherton Blue Box ones. I think these are just the perfect, you know, cheaper Amtrak car if you're going to get into collecting Amtrak stuff. You gotta have these. I think we might have a full set in here. Wow, yeah, there's 2 more of them, the single dome and the observation, and I think we're gonna have 2 more of those cars in here. And last but not least, the RPO, and that is a full Amtrak set and a full Colorado Eagle set. Very, very cool. Let's move on to the next box. Huge thank you to everyone who has stuck around for this much of the video so far. We've got just a handful more boxes to go through before we move over to the test track and see what all runs from this collection. This box, again, is pretty much all engines, and I think there's some cool things in here. This one's actually a dummy, so obviously will not be part of our test track adventure in a minute, but it's an FP45 in the B&O scheme. Atherton Blue Box, very, very solid. Here's a Tyco Rock Island Shark Nose. I had one of these as a kid, and I also had those Alcos they did. I really liked those, and I'm glad to have this one. Hope that one runs. Here is one of the most peculiar locomotives in the Chessie and Seaboard kind of era, and also one of the most obscure things for Bachmann to make, but they did. I can't remember exactly what the engine model of this is, but just look at that cab. What were they thinking? Oh my goodness. Another common Bachmann engine, Santa Fe B23. Here is a really cool one. It's a Bachmann New York Central Niagara. Now, it's funny, the most common version of this engine is the one in the UP paint scheme, which is odd because UP never had Niagaras. That's the one in that Overland Limited set that they still make to this day. They've made that set for like 25 years. I have no idea whose idea that was. Here is another locomotive that we actually had the tender from earlier. This is a K4, Pennsylvania Railroad. And if you guys remember, we had the tender for this in like the second box, I think. It was really early in this video. I'm a little scared to know what that wheel came off of. Hopefully we find out later. And down here at the bottom of this box is the last one of those little Lionel kind of not quite model trains. They're like not the ornaments from Hallmark. They're weird. They're little kind of decoration things, but not bad. I think we have one more box, and then we're going to go to the test track and run some trains. That last box was our last box of engines. I just heard something fall. And this is our last box of freight cars, and it looks like there may be some really, really cool stuff in here. Some freight cars I have not yet seen, not yet owned. Here's a Propeller beer box car. The beer cars and billboard stuff always does great. Nice Mopac box car there. Tyco Laramie cattle car, common UP cattle car, but lots of these beer and alcohol brewing company sort of billboard cars. Really cool stuff. Nickel plate beer, very awesome. I wonder if that has any relation to the railroad. Somebody's got to let me know. I think most of these are actually related to brewing companies and stuff, which is really unique. You don't see that very, very often. A lot of these I haven't seen ever. So anytime I can get something completely unique in the store, it just is always so cool. I wonder if these came as a set, or if he went out and sourced all these on his own, because this is very impressive. I hadn't gone through this box until just now, and I didn't realize how many of these cars were actually, you know, these unique beer cars. Again, wow. Yeah, Tiger Head Ale, I've never seen a lot of these. I think these were all kits, just from what I can assume. Down to our next layer here. There's 2 more layers of cars to go through here. One thing that is a little annoying is I think some of the little flipping tops on these might be missing. I just saw one kind of hanging around, but if that's the one concern we have with the whole box of trains, we're in business. Budweiser, Henry's, Ballantine. Ballantine car is a CMJ car. That's really awesome. Gotta throw one boring car in with all this stuff. Life like Swift Reefer, one of the just classic common cars. Look at these Rainer cars, really cool. Lemp Falstaff, another Iron City car. Playmate premium beer, unreal, unreal. And our last few here, Oscar Mayer, that is not a beer company. And Yellow Belly, and then a couple more just sort of normal cars down here. Ending with an L&N car, appropriately. Now, I think it's time we head over to the test track and see how many of these locomotives in this collection run. So let's go do that right now. A couple things before we do this testing session here. There is this Ringling Bros set in the collection that I forgot to point out earlier. This is new in box, so I'm not going to test this engine. And I think that the L&N is also new in box, so we're not going to pull that out of the box just in case it is. But we are going to test all these other locomotives today. There are 38 engines in this collection, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. A couple of those are dummies, but I'm just pumped to test these locomotives and see what runs. So let's throw the camera on the tripod and give a shot at running these old school HO engines. All right, we've got almost 40 HO scale engines to run here. I'm pumped to see which ones of these run. I've been looking forward to doing this for a couple days now. We're going to start with our Southern 44 tonner, and I got a pretty good feeling that this one is going to run. No problems there at all. Perfect. We are 1 for 1, guys. Another Southern switcher up next. Athearn Blue Box one. Got a pretty good feeling about this one too. Like a charm. Perfect. Nothing wrong with that one either. AHM Santa Fe up next. Believe this one will probably run as well. These are usually fairly reliable engines. And off it goes. Another runner. Time for our B&O set. I believe the 2 A units are powered and the B unit is a dummy, so we're obviously not going to test that B unit. But we will test both of the A units. Another solid runner there. And our second A unit here. Let's make sure this guy's good as well. Little more sluggish than the last one, but still a runner. Definitely just needs to be broken in a little bit, I feel. This massive BN Alco thing is up next. I think this is a Cox engine, I believe. And we're off to the races with this one. Oh my goodness. I'm giving it like 1/4 of the power on my power pack right now, and it's just already hauling, so this thing probably flies. I really hope this Athearn FP45 runs. This might be my favorite in the collection. Oh, it's trying to. There we go. May have been a few, decades since this thing's run, is for all I know, so gets an excuse for not being the best runner right now, but not performing super well for us. You can tell it wants to, yeah, see? It definitely wants to run, but it's not the best performance, unfortunately. We'll do this B&O SDP 40, I believe is what these are called next. Hope this one runs. not bad. Yeah, I will definitely take that. Not too shabby. Another blue box, the Great Northern Jeep coming up here. Like a charm, no worries there. Don't really have super high hopes for this lifelike chessie, but we could be proven wrong like we were last time. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, can't say I'm devastated this lifelike Jeep doesn't run, but also not really surprised either. That Conrail there is a dummy, but this one, this Bachmann one, is powered, and oh my goodness, do I hope that this does not have stripped gears. This might be one of the best looking 90s Bachmann Jeeps I've ever seen. I didn't know they actually made a Conrail version of this. And the gears are cracked. Oh, that is such a bummer. It still does run, but only backwards maybe? No, it's running forwards too. But those gears are shot, as you guys can hear. Unfortunate, but can't say I'm too surprised either. One of our two Redding switchers up next. Needs a little TLC, but that's definitely a runner there. We'll try number 2 here next. These are a bit hard to put on the track just because the whole undercarriage is covered by those side panels. And the gears are stripped on this one, it looks like. Yeah, not the best runner there either. But maybe if somebody wants to repair that, they can take care of that. B&O up next here. Again, these things are not the easiest to put on the tracks. But that one definitely runs the best of the 3. The most common of these, the Santa Fe. Already can tell it's not really wanting to get power. Yeah, it wants to, but unfortunately that's going to be a no-go there. We'll try this unlettered one next. Now that's a runner for sure. Making a little bit of weird noise, but not the worst thing in the world. This Erie Alco, I feel like we're going to have good luck with this. We had good luck with all the ones in the last video. I may have spoken too soon, guys. Yeah, those gears are shot, unfortunately. That was not a very fun noise. Time to get into some steam stuff. I really hope all these steam engines work. We'll try our Hercules here up first. It's a runner, but definitely could use some TLC, but not bad. And here's a little lifelike 040 here. Believe it or not, even though it's a lifelike, I feel like this one will probably run. And it does. It's a little bit of a wonky looking thing, but definitely is going to run. Yeah, that thing is flying. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, not great low speed control on that, but definitely a runner. The Santa Fe there is just parts, unfortunately. But now we're going to take a trip to England for a minute here and see how these European Bachmann engines perform. Something I really don't know much about, as we said earlier, but they are very attractive, good looking engines. So, wow. No problems here. And it looks great too. So we're looking good for our British engines so far. I'll grab the second one here, see if this one will run as well. Oh yeah, these are solid. Nice low speed on these for a Bachmann engine. Pretty quiet, all things considered. Total win on those two. Very happy with that. Technically we'll say this is a British engine as well. We're going to give Thomas a test run here. And Thomas works great as well. Even the moving iMech still works, which is great. No worries there. Thomas, thank you very much. Time to go to some trolleys here. These are usually 50-50. I can't figure out if these are reliable or not. Well, this one certainly is good. Nice looking little red marker lights on there too. All right, that is a nice looking trolley. That one is good to go. We'll try these two Brill trolleys next. The last couple of these I got did not work, so I hope these do. This one does. I gotta get buffers for this track, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm actually planning on just setting up a loop. I got a layout from a recent collection that we're just gonna use for testing rather than just the straightaway here. But that Brill trolley worked, and let's try this Main Street Brill trolley here. No lights in this one, unfortunately, but it does run, thankfully, and it runs pretty well too. Not bad. Big old SP Alco here. Hope this one does. It's definitely getting power. Yeah, no worries there. Little lubrication probably wouldn't hurt, but other than that, certainly not bad. The B&O FP45 is a dummy, unfortunately, but let's move on to our next Tyco engine here, this Rock Island Shark Nose here from one of their classic train sets. This is one of the few engines that made it to basically the very end of Tyco's production. I think they did change that set to an F unit maybe in the last couple of years of Tyco's train line, but this one is certainly a nice example of it. Looks really good. Condition wise, it's probably a 9 out of 10, and it runs pretty well too, so not bad at all. Next is our Penzi K4. It's from a little bit of an iffy time in Bachmann's production, but I really hope it runs for us. Oh, yikes. Oh, no, we're good, we're good. That scared me for a second. Yeah, it looks like it just needed to be broken in a little bit, but it is cooperating with us now. It does kind of rock back and forth just a little bit, which might not be a great sign, but you know, we'll take that. For a 90s Bachmann engine, we are not going to complain. The thing can move. That's really all we can ask for with those sometimes. Speaking of 90s Bachmann engines, another weirder one here. And you can hear already, guys, those gears on there are just clapped out. Oh, that's a rough noise for sure. Yeah, not surprised on that one. Disappointed, not surprised. Yet again, I think we're ending with all 90s Bachmann engines actually, which is not a great sign. Ooh, yeah. Yet again, those gears are destroyed. Oh boy. I hope this Niagara works though. This would be a really nice piece if it does. But like we've said earlier, I don't have... Oh, it's even smoking. Wow. I don't know how well that comes across, but it does have a smoke unit in there. And it does run. Thank goodness. I was going to be pretty upset if this one didn't. I really like this engine. And I'd really like to have it on my shelves as a working locomotive, and thankfully we do. We're going to end our test run session here with this Bachmann Amtrak F40. Dang it. That might be the... Oh, yeah. I mean, just listen to those gears. Absolutely horrible. Well, unfortunately, that's not a super high note to end on, but pretty much everything here ran. We had a few duds, but for the most part, considering a lot of these engines are 20, 30, 40 years old, we'll take that. Guys, thank you for watching this video. If you like something you saw here, they'll all be on sale at my model train store locations. All the info for that is at cadencesrailyard.com or in the description of this video. Thank you for sticking with me till the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. We got some really good ones coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys.